today at a shoot for my model team, and I wanted to share with you guys some tips on not only posing groups of models, but also organizing a model shoot. I know for me, when I started with my model team, I only had 4 models, and that was a lot easier to handle. But over the years, it's grown from 4 to 32 models, and that can seem overwhelming at times. So I've got some tips for you, not only for posing, but how to organize your group shoots. So hopefully this video will help you and you will not be overwhelmed on your large group photo shoots, but we'll have fun and get amazing photos. So let's get started. Okay, so tip number 1 is to have them interact in some way, and that means touching. So I've placed the girls this way. Some are holding hands, some have hands on the shoulder, some are sort of leaning into each other with a hand on their back, but as long as they're touching in some way, it looks like they all are friends and they're interacting together, and it makes for a better pose. Okay, so now we're going to add in props. So not only are they interacting with each other by touching each other, holding hands, that kind of thing, but they're also interacting with the props to make it a more interesting pose. Okay, so tip number 2 is to create different levels with the girls. If you have a big group, you can have some sitting, some standing, you can even have some squatting. So there's all different levels, and it makes the pose more interesting, as you can see right here. Okay, tip number 3 is to try to create curves with their bodies. So have them lean forward at the waist or pop a hip, put a hand up, touching still, interaction, but just make sure they're creating sort of curves so your eye kind of goes through all the different curves like they're making here. Okay, tip number 4 is to try to create a shape with the girls. So this works really well with like threes, a group of 3, and like a triangle. So you can see how she's the top of the triangle, and then they make the shape by looking at the girls on the bottom. Okay, so tip number 5 is to get the girls moving. Okay, that can be holding hands and walking toward the camera, holding hands and walking away from the camera, linking arms and walking to and from the camera. Also, treat it as a boomerang. Ask them to make small little movements like they would if they were making a boomerang, and shoot that, and you'll get a lot of movement, which will play really well on camera. Variety. And by variety, I mean break down the groups into smaller groupings. So yes, definitely get that big group shot, but also do 2s and 3s and 4s and 5s, small little groupings, so that you have a variety of different poses in different numbers for your group model shoots. Even though you're doing group model shoot, remember to do individuals of each model. One thing my models always say to me is that they love the fact that I do individuals as well as group, because they want photos of themselves. That's why they're modeling. So remember each individual and take a photo of them or several photos of them, so that you have not only group shots, but individual shots as well. Okay, so tip number 8 is to make sure you have a shot list or a shoot plan. Every time I go into a big model shoot, I always have tons of inspiration and tons of shot ideas. That way, if my brain freezes up, I can quickly look at my list and make sure I'm staying on task. So that is one big tip. That way you can remember the individuals, the small groupings, the large group shots, and you can just cycle through those shots on your shot list and stay organized and make sure you make everybody happy. Okay guys, so the last tip I have for you, tip number 9, is to plan your group model shoots in shifts. This is a lifesaver for me. When you have a large group, you will feel a little bit overwhelmed if everyone is there at the same time. So no matter whether you have 10 or 12, 20, 25, 30, it will seem a lot less overwhelming if you break that group down into shifts. So an example of this is I have 28 girls and I schedule 9 to 10 per hour, and I do 3 shifts. So 3 1-hour shifts, 9 to 10 girls each shift. Then I go through all the things I showed you earlier in the video, which is individual shots, small group shots, and the entire group of 9 to 10. That way, not everyone is there at the same time, and you don't feel like a lot of girls are just kind of hanging around waiting on you. I don't know about you, but that kind of stresses me out. So I'd rather be able to handle a smaller group. Once that shift is over, those girls leave, the next shift arrives, and I do the same thing all over again. And I do that until I complete the entire group. But if you schedule them in shifts, I promise you will feel a lot less overwhelmed and you will get amazing shots from your group model shoots. Okay guys, so I hope this video helps you when it comes to organizing, planning, and posing your models in group model shoots. It doesn't have to be hard and it doesn't have to be overwhelming if you have a larger group. Just remember these tips on organizing, making sure you have a shot list, have the girls come in shifts, and then remember to pose them as individuals, small groups, and the large group, and you will have a successful model team shoot. If you guys want more information on model teams or senior photography in general, be sure to visit seniorology.com, where you can find a lot of freebies, a lot of blog posts, and podcast episodes to help you be successful at your senior photography business. If you ever have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask me. You can email me or you can DM me. Links are below. And if you like this video, please be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thanks, guys.